Hi, my name is Mara Nafsker. I am currently a student at UWRF, and I am here to talk to you about academic advising, specifically with first year students on a campus. I will first be going over my experience, what it has taught me, and then going into what advising is and what traits you need for advising, and then concluding and wrapping it up with what is to come with advising. So, specifically looking into my experience, starting off, I had gone from being a very school oriented person where I knew everything, and this was in high school, I knew what I wanted. Coming to college, it was a brand new experience for me. I didn't know what to expect, and I didn't really know how to manage my time or how to deal with all these new classes because it's very different being able to, like, you're the only one telling yourself to do something. And for me, I had started struggling a little bit with my grades, so I ended up going to the Academic Success Center and asking for them for help. I wanted to know what I could do to improve my grades or where I could go, and this office was a very good place for me to be and for me to go talk to. And I had been suggested from my advisor to go talk to them, and I'm very excited that they did that because it had opened my eyes to an office that I am now wishing to pursue as a career. But starting off, like explaining that I had been struggling with grades, but when I went and talked to them, what it taught me was that I sometimes talking to someone, talking out a situation is the best way because you're not able to realize what you're struggling with or what's going on until you verbalize it, and then it all falls into place and you're like, oh, this is really what I meant, or this is what I was thinking. And specifically for me, I have a problem with talking to people who are authority figures because I'm very intimidated by them. I respect them and I understand that they know more than I do. So I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I know nothing. And so for me, sometimes it's hard to go talk to them. But talking to this office, it was more like talking to friendly people. Like the second you step in that office, you feel the atmosphere and you're happy because you understand these are very friendly people. They're very understanding. And for me, what I loved about going there, and I understood that they were there to help and that they were going to make sure that I was succeeding. And they truly care about their students. And I feel as though that's really a reason why I want to go into it, is I could feel that they were there to support me. They knew what I wanted, what my end goal was, and they were there to help me along the way. So, specifically, let's look at what advising is. And it's split into different departments. There is a social aspect of it, there is the academic, and then there is also like first year undecided majors. So, with each department, you're each going to have a different role or have different managers or people who are the guys who, advisors who will help you with that. For me at that time, I had been with the academic people talking through them, and I had realized that they are people who specifically will tell you what you need to do in order to get to your goal. The first thing they'll have you do is they'll sit down and say, what is the problem? What can be addressed? Or like what needs to be addressed right away? And then what is your end goal? And through that, they're talking to you. They're not telling you this is what you need to do, this is what needs to be done right away. They're asking you. They're like, what do you think you should do? What do you think is the next step? What do you think is the best thing that you can do for yourself? And they're very supportive and very helpful through this. And honestly, it's a better source for them to have the student talk it out loud and process all of this rather than having them do it themselves or them telling you what to do. It's easier to have the student know what they want to get done or what is the next best thing or what's the next step for them. So, specifically, I am going to explain what qualities need, like what you would need to be an advisor. And looking into it, it's kind of obvious that you need to be friendly, you need to be open, you need to be, hey, I'm like a smiling face, I'm here to help you, especially if they're struggling. If they're social and if they're coming in to say hi, it's fine to be like, hey, how are you doing? Or how are things progressing? And glad to see that things are going well. But if they are struggling, they need someone who is kind of empathetic. They know what's going on and they're like, hey, here, let me come help you. Let me figure out ways that we can work through this together. And so not only is it important that they're friendly or that they're opening face or something, they're there for people or for the students, it's important that they're very aware of what they're seeing and what is going on and what the environment or the situation is. But not only along with that, the Joshua Smith had mentioned in his article that people who are advisors, they need to be timely on the information. If a student is struggling with their grades, you need to make sure that you're able to help them or tell them a resource that's on campus before they're done with the class or before it's irrelevant for them. But also with that is that you need to make sure that the student is clear, that there's very clear expectations for them, that they know what is the next step, what needs to be done, and where they're going from there. And with that, it also needs to know that you need to have appropriate resources sending to them. If they're struggling with their grades, don't tell them, hey, join a club. Go join the volleyball club or something. That'll really help you out because obviously it's not. If they're having struggling with their time management and everything, it's very, very, very important that you are aware that you need to tell them the resources on campus and tell them that what works with what they're struggling with and where to go from there. So, specifically, let's look into what is expected next for the academic advising offices. One thing that's a big struggle that Leonardo Thompson mentions in his article is that people are turning to virtual or technology more than they are coming to the academic advising offices, excuse me. And this isn't really a big problem. I mean, it is in the aspect that some offices are losing people coming to them, but the advising offices are very much adapting themselves to technology. They're involving resources, they're involving things on their sites that will help improve student situations. For example, if someone is needing to talk to an advisor but they're not there, they're not at their office, the advisor will have things up to their site saying, hey, here's my email, here's my phone. If you need to get a hold of me right away, if it's important, let me know, and I will try to help you as best as I can. If not, they have now developed the technology that they are putting videos up of most common frequent questions that people or students have had and putting them on the site. So students who are very uncomfortable with talking to people face to face, they are able to go on this academic advising site and look at it through and being like, okay, this is really what I need to address. But on the same aspect of that, people who are switching to technology, it's more of a cold shoulder is how I would view it because they are like they're willing to go talk to this in person and look online and get the resource that they need. But a lot of them at the end result will find that they need to talk to someone in person because they need the comfort. And like I had said earlier, it's more on the lines that people come to Academic Success Center when they're struggling with something. So when you're down in the dumps and you need to talk someone through and you're talking to this office, it's nice to have that person come up and when you're talking to them, have someone be proud of you that they see this progress, they see the effort that you're putting into it, and telling them how oh, you're doing a wonderful job and you're improving and I'm really proud of you. You need to do this next. Or what do you think you should do next? And then helping them and telling them going through and everything. And let alone, it's like one thing you can't ever and you probably will never be able to get through technology is the comfort of the touch. Having someone grab your shoulder saying, you're going to do this. You're going to do great. And just the supportive feel of that, the nonverbals that technology cannot give you. And it's something that devising offices are very much developing with technology. They are working it into their techniques and their ideas and part of their resources. So if you take anything from this, I hope that you are realizing that advising is basically a academic office that will help you realize all the resources you have on your campus. They will give you to people who are able to completely address your situation and resolve it in a matter of time. We understand that you are going through things and that it might be good. And if it's good, that's great. We're really happy for you and we're excited about it. If it's a negative experience, then we're here to help and we will make it better for you. So, specifically throughout this speech, I have talked about my experience and what it has taught me, and then what advising is, and what qualities you need to be an advisor, and explaining what advising is going to come to be. But out of all of this, I really hope that you take from this speech is that advising is a great resource on your campus, and they are friendly people who are there to help you. And I am living proof of that. They have helped me through a lot of things, and I am proud to say I'm graduating this spring. And a lot of it is because that academic advising center was able to help me and tell me what goals to set to. So I hope that you enjoyed this speech, and thank you very much for your time.